If you win, you will be happy. If you lose, you will be wise. Author unknown. Taking risk is often seen as something to be avoided. Many of us are conditioned to seek safety, predictability, and comfort. Because after all, who wants to endure the unknown? Yet, the truth is that life's most profound rewards often come on the other side of risk. The very act of taking risks has been the catalyst for every major breakthrough, innovation, and personal transformation in human history. Without risks, we stagnate. Without risks, we limit our potential. Without risks, we fail to discover the vastness of our own abilities. And while risk can sometimes lead to failure or setbacks, it is ultimately a gateway to growth, fulfillment, and a life without limits. My own journey has been one marked by immense risks, both personal and professional. Running a federally funded program designed to provide mental health services, food, and housing to vulnerable women and children was one of the biggest risks of my life. It was not an easy path, and it came with many challenges. The program itself was flawed, and navigating the complexities of federal regulations was overwhelming at times. I took on the responsibility of managing over 100 women and children, providing them with care that was desperately needed. However, as many of you know, that risk ultimately led to my incarceration, a consequence that I would not have chosen for myself. But even in that, there was a deeper lesson to be learned. The risk I took on wasn't just about running a program or the potential for professional success. The real risk was in standing for something greater than myself, something that had the potential to change lives, even if it meant putting my own future on the line. Despite the negative outcome, I stand here today knowing that the rewards far outweighed the cost. Because of that program, over 100 women and children received food, shelter, and mental health services they would not have otherwise had access to. And even more importantly, I have been given an opportunity to model what it means to stand in my truth, no matter the consequences. That in itself is a gift. By taking that risk, I have been able to show others that no matter how flawed the system or how dire the circumstances, standing in your truth has power. It gives permission to others to do the same. If we constantly avoid risk out of fear of failure, judgment, or rejection, we deny ourselves the opportunity to live authentically. Risk-taking is not about seeking reckless abandon. It's about pursuing what matters most to you, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. Every single person who has achieved anything of significance in life has done so through taking risks. From entrepreneurs and innovators to artists and thought leaders, every groundbreaking moment in history has been shaped by someone willing to step outside of their comfort zone and into the unknown. Risk and reward are inextricably linked. You cannot have one without the other. And while we often celebrate the success of risk takers, it's important to remember that the journey itself is equally valuable, regardless of the income. For me, the journey of taking risks has been as much about personal transformation as it has been about professional achievement. When I decided to run a program that was inherently flawed, I didn't know that it would ultimately lead to my incarceration. I didn't know that I would face public scrutiny, judgment, or harsh consequences. But I also didn't know that it would lead to a deeper sense of purpose and conviction in my life. I didn't know that it would allow me to serve and uplift others in a profound way. And I didn't know that it would strengthen my resolve to always stand in my truth, no matter what. Risks is the ultimate test of character. It forces you to confront your fears, your insecurities, and your limitations. It pushes you to grow in ways you never thought possible. Without risk, you remain stagnant, locked within the confines of what is safe and comfortable. But when you take risks, you unlock new doors of possibility. You discover strengths you didn't know you had. You learn valuable lessons that you can only be learned through experience. And even when you fail, you gain wisdom, resilience, and insight that prepare you for future opportunities. One of the greatest risks we can take in life is the risk of being ourselves. In a world that often pressures us to conform, to play it safe, and to follow the rules, standing in your truth can feel like a radical act. But the reality is that you will never experience true fulfillment until you are willing to take that risk. When you stand in your truth, when you live authentically and unapologetically, you give others permission to do the same. You become a beacon of courage and possibility for those who are too afraid to take risks in their own lives. If there's one thing I've learned throughout my journey, it's that risk-taking is not just about the outcome. It's about the process of stepping into the unknown with faith, determination, and integrity. Whether the risk leads to success or failure is almost secondary. What matters most is that you have the courage to take the leap in the first place. Every risk, no matter how big or small, teaches you something valuable about yourself and about life. One of the biggest misconceptions about risk-taking is that it always leads to something bad. But the truth is, the most transformative moments of your life will come from the risks you are willing to take. Even if the outcome isn't what you hope for, the lessons you learn along the way will shape you in ways you couldn't have imagined. I didn't expect that my decision to run a flawed program would lead to incarceration, but I also didn't expect that it would lead to a profound sense of purpose, resilience, and clarity about who I am and what I stand for. If you refuse to take risks, you will always have limits in life. You will never know what you are truly capable of because you will have confined yourself to the boundaries of safety and comfort. Playing it safe may protect you from failure, but it will also prevent you from experiencing the fullness of life. Taking risks is how you break free from those limits. It's how you push past fear and step into your greatness. The people who change the world are not those who play it safe. They are the ones who dare to take risks, who are willing to fail, and who have the resilience to get back up and try again. If you want to live a life of significance, you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take risks, even when the outcome is uncertain. It's important to remember that risk-taking isn't about recklessness. It's about being intentional and thoughtful in your decisions, but also being willing to face uncertainty in pursuit of something greater. I knew that running the program was a risk, but I also knew that the potential reward, helping women and children in need, was worth it. And even though the outcome wasn't what I anticipated, I wouldn't change a thing, because the reward of standing in my truth and serving others has been far greater than any temporary setback, including incarceration. The risk you take today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Every risk is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to evolve. And even when things don't go as planned, you will have the satisfaction of knowing you had the courage to try. The greatest regret in life isn't failure. It's the risk we didn't take. Don't let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams or standing in your truth. Take the risk. Step into the unknown and trust that no matter what happens, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled than you ever thought possible. So I encourage you, take the risk. Chase your dreams, stand in your truth, and trust that the rewards will always outweigh the risks. Peace and blessings, Dr. O.